I don't have this ready, but what I wanted to try was to try to find one of those "What superhero are you?" quizzes.
I remember doing those back in the MySpace era. And then you share your
Yeah,
answers or you share your
yeah,
results with people.
exactly, yeah.
It was so easy. I know exactly what to say to get Spider-Man. That's a problem with that.
Oh yeah, some of them are a little too uncanny. It's like how you hear like a supervillain is attacking the city. How do you get to the battle? Do you swing on a web to get there? Do you fly? And it's
Do you
like,
get on an invisible jet?
yeah, yeah. It's like, okay, we know who you're trying to aim us towards.
Would you rather A, get bit by a radioactive spider, or B, watch your parents get shot?
Radioactive spider.
Let's start the episode. This is episode 21 of the Elbow Nudge podcast. And today we're talking Sky High.
Today is Sky High Day. Yeah.
Caroline, let's first of all, I want to say right off the bat that I thought I remember this movie being a little better, to be honest.
You know, I didn't want to come right out the gate with that, but yeah.
I have to because I used to champion this movie, and I still will. I think it's nice. It's a nice movie, but I remember it being better and liking it more. I think I've seen it at least 2 to 3 times before rewatching it for this conversation today. And just watching it yesterday, it was like, I'm not feeling the same feelings. I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping as we talk about it, we figure it out.
You know, I this was a movie that even when we were having our conversations this week on like what are we gonna do, as soon as you mentioned Sky High, I was like, oh, that's it. We gotta do Sky High. Sky
Yeah,
High
it's
is so
exciting, right? An
good. Yeah,
exciting
yeah.
idea.
And then I was watching the movie, and yeah, I was feeling a little bit of that luster drain. I don't know. I think for me, my thoughts about the movie started going down towards the middle of it. I really like the beginning of the movie. I like the setup. I like the way that the camera is. I feel like it's a very teen movie, very kid movie, very very like this feels like a Disney Channel movie, but it's not. This was in theaters, and it feels very decom-y. And I don't know, maybe if it was a decom, we would herald it better because it's like, oh, this is one of the best decoms. But
That's what I was thinking. If it was a decom, it would probably be one of the best, right?
yeah, yeah, because it has all the elements of a decom and the best elements of a decom. But the fact that this was a theatrically released film, the bar for a theatrically released film is pretty high. And this one,
Yeah,
while
because we have
being
High School
named,
Musical 3.
yeah, the bar is set pretty high, and it's kind of unfortunate that Sky High might not have really reached it. I mean, I think there's a novelty to it. There's definitely an endearing and a charming quality to this movie. And I think growing up, I really liked it. I think that's why, and I think I can make that same assessment for you. Growing up, like when you watch it when you're a little bit younger, you really like it. Like, oh, this is a really good movie. It's really funny. It's got the superhero aspect. But going back at our ages and trying to enjoy it the same way might not work as well.
I saw it somewhat recently, if you want to say that, because I definitely saw it when it was on Disney Plus. Again, so whenever Disney Plus launched, it's been at least 3 years or going on 3 years, maybe more. But yeah, I saw it on there just as a rewatch, and I liked it. I liked it, and watching it this time again, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna bring up my first idea of what it could be, and that is one of the main points of the movie is that Will Stronghold, he doesn't have powers. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have his powers yet. And I think this is where it kind of slips up because this story is kind of like a trope now. Is like, oh, the main character doesn't have powers or the main character is not special. And you're already thinking about movies right now that does that, right? Like I don't want to call them out because just in case, I don't want to give away spoilers, but certain animated movies and certain animes.
I was
as
gonna
well.
say
Yeah.
certain. I
So
actually, in my note, I have a lot of parallels between this movie and a certain anime.
you can mention it if you want. I just don't know how big spoilers are for those things. But basically, when you tell a story like that where your main character does not have superpowers, it's very easy to make it interesting and layered and make them learn that hey, you're special without that. You can still be a hero without that. And in this movie, Will gets his powers. He eventually gets super strength, and then at the end he gets flight. So it kind of loses the message of hey, you're not as even though you're a sidekick, you're still a hero. That's kind of the message. But he is literally a hero because of his superpowers. And I'm gonna come out and say it too. Ron Wilson was his name, right? Ron
Yeah,
Wilson, bus
bus
driver.
driver.
Yeah, he was also a child of two superheroes, right? The nurse tells him that.
Yep.
And then he never got any superpowers. But in the very end, we find out he fell in a vat of
Toxic waste.
toxic waste and he became a superhero. And I'm like, that just throws away what he was as well.
Yeah.
But go ahead. What do you think about that?
I was gonna say it's interesting because I felt like there was a part of the movie that my interest started going down. I was all in for the first couple of parts, but I think it's when Will started getting his powers that I was like, okay, okay. I think, no, I think the part that it started really going down is when he started dating Gwen. Because before it was,
Our Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
you know, I gotta shout out the Queen. This is the first movie of the Mary Elizabeth Winstead universe, or as we like to call it.
That we've done here?
Yes, that we've done here, because we've
That we like to call it? Yeah, go ahead.
we like to call it the Muniverse.
Yes. And now go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
this is the first of many Muniverse films that we will be covering on this podcast. I think we started this podcast because we wanted to talk about a Mary Elizabeth Winstead movie, and
Yeah.
so she's got a special place in the heart of this pod. And I love her. I love her in this movie. I think she's a great villain. I like her a lot.
Yeah, she is a great villain.
But the movie for me, just as a overall, started going down when he started dating her, because I felt like it came with all those tropes, with the oh, his best friend likes him. Oh, he's suddenly popular now, like Mean Girls style, and things like that. And I don't know. I feel like this is just kind of an observation, but he was able to stand up to his dad about his friends being sidekicks. And this is early in the movie. He tells his dad, like, I'm proud to be a sidekick. I'm proud to be hero support. But then all of a sudden he gets powers, and the people at school are like, oh, you don't want to hang out with those sidekicks. And I don't know. I just feel like if he was able to stand up to his dad about that, it's just kind of weird that all of a sudden he's wavering now with powers. But
So Danielle Panabaker, I think she really delivered on this scene because she was saying, oh, and they do this twice. They say like I have something to tell you. Oh, okay, but hold on. I'm going to tell you this first. And then he's like, blah, 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 blah. Like, this is all awesome, whatever. All right, now what do you got to tell me? He's like, never mind. The first time was with the dad, you remember? Where the dad is like, I'm so proud of my boy. He's going to be a hero. We're going to be the Stronghold 3. And then like, all right, now what do you got to tell me, son? Nothing.
Just that I'm going to kick your butt in pool.
Yeah. So, yeah, with Layla, I love the scene because they pull the same thing off again. And Will is like, oh, I'm going with Gwen. And she is the best girl in all of Sky High. I forgot what he says exactly.
Like, I'm going with I think he did say, like, I'm going with the best girl in Sky High or something like that. Like,
yeah, he says, like, the most popular, like, prettiest, whatever. But it was definitely, like, screw you, Layla. Like, you're included in this. And anyways, what you got to tell me that she's like, I really like the way she delivered it because you see, like, her eyes a little teary. And she's like, that is awesome. She's like, I'm so happy for you. And, yeah, I'm going to the dance, too. Go, and then they go on the bus, and then I'm going to Warren and blah blah blah. But I thought that was a good scene. They acted it well. Well, mostly Danielle. I didn't think whoever played Will, I didn't really think he was all that with the acting, but it's all right.
I was gonna say, I feel like the movie would be a little better if we had somebody else to play Will Stronghold.
Yeah.
If it was like I know I'm throwing out like teen heartthrob of that era, but if it was like Zac Efron, this movie would be a hit.
He's too big for this though.
I know, but well, I mean, he was doing High School Musical at the beginning. Like, this is a theater
This is 2005.
Yeah, and High School Musical is
Musical
2008. Would you rather be in like a movie in theaters or in a decom?
Wait. The first High School Musical was 2008. No, the third one.
2006.
Oh, all right.
Wait.
You're right. Yeah.
Musical.
2006 was High School Musical 1.
Yeah.
So he could have done it. You're right. Yeah, he probably could have snuck his way in here if he wanted to.
I'm just thinking that Will Stronghold, and I don't know if they were doing that intentionally by casting. I forget the actor's name. I know it's like Michael something.
Yeah, I see it now. Michael Angarano?
Yeah, Angarano.
You know, I thought he was a kid from Home Alone 3. Every single time I saw him, I'm like, is this the kid grown up? All grown up?
Okay, I'm not the only one. I thought the same thing, and I even Googled it. I was like, what's he been in? And nothing. I know. Nothing
this is
I
his
know.
greatest achievement. This performance
is sky high. Yeah, he's in a couple of stuff, but I think it's all like B movies and things like that. It's not anything super popular. He was in Will and Grace, but he's not like a main character in Will and Grace. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's another thing too, is that I think he's just kind of your regular kid. That's another thing that's why I think this has a decom quality, is that he's not really a great actor. He feels like a decom actor.
Yeah, and some of them are good.
They had the guy from Minutemen in this movie. That's another reason why it feels very decom.
I like this guy. I don't think you do, but I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's a
Zach,
very,
the Zack Attack.
Yeah, Zack Attack. I know him from like Princess Protection Program.
He was in Beep Beep Beep. He was in the PPP, and he was in Minutemen.
He was in Minutemen and the Beep Beep Beep.
I like this guy, I really do, and especially in this movie because he has like this weird. I think he kind of acted like the same character in this movie and in Princess Protection Program, where he's kind of like. He knows what he likes, kind of. He has like this weird confidence where he knows what he likes and then he doesn't really care what people think. So in this movie, he's obviously like crushing on Magenta. And, you know, at the dance, he would go, do you want to dance? No, me neither. And then when she asks him, she goes, do you want to dance? He's like, yes.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, sure. It's cool. And then my favorite scene is when Warren and Layla, you know, they're already like trying to, well, not really, but Layla's trying to convince Warren, hey, can you just pretend that we're going to go to the dance? I'm trying to make Will jealous, whatever. And then they all sit down because they see Layla sitting there at his table, Warren's table. And then I love the first thing when he sits down, he's like, hey, Magenta, is this guy bothering you? Like to Warren, like the guy who's obviously way stronger than him and could beat him up. I love how he sits down and he says, is this guy bothering you? I love that. But what do you think about the Zack Attack and this actor? Like, we've seen him in three movies total.
It's weird. I felt like he played the guy because he's the bad boy in Minutemen. But I feel like he played the main character. Like, the character that is the main character in Minutemen. I feel like that's who he played in this movie.
I'm confused. I'm not sure what you're telling me.
The character that is the main character. He's kind of the same type of dude, but in this movie. I don't know how to explain it other than that. But, I mean,
his bad boy character in Minutemen is this character?
No. You know the main character. What's his name?
And which one?
The main character in Minutemen.
I don't know the character's name, but yeah, Jason
What?
Dolly.
Yeah, Jason Dolly. It's like he has Jason Dolly's personality
In
this
this
movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I would
That's
say
what
a little bit more like quirky or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, well, definitely, yeah, because you have like the whole like he glows and the Zack attack. Yeah, definitely more
Yeah.
quirky, but I feel like I was watching that character in this movie, but just with the glowing superpower.
But what do you think? Do you
I like-
still not really like? Oh, do you do like him?
I liked him in this movie. Oh yeah, I liked him.
Okay.
He was really funny. I think he gave me the most laughs. Was from him and like Kurt Russell and War and Peace. I think those dudes gave me some good amount of laughs. Just
Yeah, that's the
Warren
other thing. I actually
with like his
forgot.
sarcasm. Go ahead,
Who's sarcasm?
Warren's.
Oh yeah, he was pretty good at that. Layla should have just got with Warren, honestly.
I ship it 100%.
Yeah.
I ship it 100%.
Yeah.
As soon as he sat down at the Chinese table, I was like, "Girl, drop that zero and get with the real
With
hero."
this villain. Am I right? Am I right?
That's another thing too. What I would give to know the backstory for his parents. Just they have little nuggets of gems with this movie. With like, can you just think about that? Like, imagine the comic book or like the Invincible style show we could get from a superhero falling in love with a villain and having a kid. It's just wow.
Yeah. Well, I would
Because-
assume they were both good or both evil, and then one of them turned.
I don't know. The way the movie framed it was like, you know, his dad's a supervillain and his mom is a hero. And like, that's why he's here. And his dad's in prison. And he never mentions his mom not being around.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there's some complicated history at home, but I think that's so interesting.
He's definitely living with mom. He's supposed to be in high school,
Yeah.
even though he looks so much older.
He's going to Sky High. So that
Yeah.
means his mom as a hero is like, you're going to Sky High.
Right.
He's such an interesting character. I like him so much. And
He was cool.
Yeah. He was cool. He was the bad boy. I feel like, when did Avatar: The Last Airbender came out? Because this dude has Zuko energy.
Are you
big
serious?
time.
I don't know. Probably before this. Isn't it early?
Avatar:
2000?
The Last Airbender. 2005. February
Same year.
21st, 2005. February. And this came out in July. Huh.
So they were being created at the same time.
We got some Amy Schumer parallel thinking here.
Yeah, there's some parallel thinking going on between these guys.
Because I'm telling you, the Zuko vibes are there big time. Even in
Even
Avatar.
in the fire.
Yeah,
aspect.
yeah. He's a firebender.
Yeah.
And and Zuko's dad is like the villain of the show, and his mom is like this. You later find out in the show she's like a really good person and things like that. It's like,
Interesting.
I definitely remember when I first watched this movie as a kid. I saw it in theaters. Having a huge crush on War and Peace. War and Peace is eye candy. But yeah, he's like the real. He was a real gentleman. He goes along with Layla, even though he was a little rude to her. But that's just his character. Like, he's not being rude. He's just like no, I don't like public displays of affection.
Yeah, it's funny how when Warren had to talk at the restaurant with Will, and Will tells him like, "Yeah, I've been a jerk, and I'd be surprised if any of my friends want to talk to me." And Warren goes, "Really? Because I've been a jerk and I can't get rid of them."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm thinking like, that's true. It's funny how they made that work, but it's true. Like, he's been a jerk the whole time, but they're just hanging out with him.
Yeah. I think this could be just a collapsed memory of mine that probably has no credibility, but I thought I remembered there being a deleted scene where Warren like protected them, like the group of friends from the bullies, and that like is another reason why they like hanging around him, and it like cements him as like, yeah, he's rude on the outside, but on the inside he just like,
Heart of gold on the inside.
Yeah, exactly, heart of gold. And so that I think that was a scene that was going to be included, but it was cut out. I don't know if that's true, and I don't know if how to look that up really, but unless I put like Sky High deleted scenes, but still,
that would make sense. It would make sense. But I think what we're supposed to take from that is when Layla got close to him, and then they all started sitting at his table, and then just from there they're like, "Oh, we're friends with him now. Cool, he can protect us."
Yeah.
And even what's the kid's name who can melt? The melting kid, I forgot his name. But
Ethan?
Is it Ethan?
Ethan.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh wait, are we still at the what was it called? It's not the cool kids table. Are we still at the whatever table? Dangerous kids table?"
Yeah,
I don't know what it
something
is.
like that, like the danger table.
Yeah. He's like, "Even though Warren's not here, are we still at the dangerous table?" So they definitely want to stick to him because of that. Have him as a bodyguard. But what I wanted to say about Zach earlier is when you brought up his superpower and the glowing, I like that kind of confidence because I forgot that aspect of it with his powers. He's like, "You'll see, I like on the school bus, he's saying, oh, I'll show them. I have the best power in the whole school." And then when he shows Coach Boomer, he's like, "All right, go ahead." He's like, "I'm doing it." He's like, "What?" "I'm glowing." He's like, "Can we turn off the lights here and, kind of cup your hands over your eyes?" And then, it's just funny how he's
got such confidence of a stronghold, but
yes,
this dude is a glow stick.
Yes.
I want to have that kind of confidence in life, just every day.
I think we all could use a little bit of that. Definitely.
A little bit of that Zack attack.
The Zack attack. So I liked him. I liked him a lot. And
I think the character, other than like some of the main ones, my favorite character is Warren, and then I love Layla. After that, I gotta give it to Magenta. I think she's really cute. I like her guinea pig.
Yeah,
I like
her
the little
guinea pig
voice.
scene was cool.
The laugh that gets me every time, and it's just I think such a childish reason for me to laugh is when she's crawling through the little tunnel as a guinea pig. Something about that imagery gets me every time.
That's funny.
I think it's so funny. I love the voice they gave her where she's like, "All right, I'm on the way."
Yeah. All right, you're gonna want to
so...
make a right. Like, okay, all right.
Okay, I'm on it. You're gonna chew the red wire. There's a lot of red wires here.
And then when it gets to the part where she's chewing, they have like a little puppet, like a little doll.
I love that puppet. Even the way it smiles after she chews through the wire, and she gives that little like grin to the camera. The puppet.
It was so funny. It was funny when the school was falling.
And they're taking turns like screaming into the pipe.
Yeah, that was funny. Like,
and they push him out of
Why are they screaming in there to let her know?
They want her to know that they're falling and they're not happy about it.
That was good. That was good.
I thought that was so funny. And they're like, "Chew faster."
Also, you reminded me because now we're talking about the finale pretty much. And Royal Pain is there. They've taken over the school. I just want to give a shout out to Sky High for actually committing to Homecoming when they're mentioning and talking about Homecoming.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to give an anti-shout out. What do you call that,
no.
Caroline?
You want to call out.
I want to call out on the spot Spider-Man Homecoming and Wendy Wu Homecoming Warrior for talking about homecomings and never showing them.
I knew.
Spider-Man shows it for 1 minute and then he walks out. Terrible.
I knew when you said I want to call out. I was like, he's gonna call out Spider-Man. He's gonna do it. But yeah,
am I wrong?
You're on the mark with Wendy Wu because that's the whole thing. Is it's called Wendy Wu Homecoming Warrior, and she like doesn't go to homecoming.
Yeah,
that's so messed up. But I think is another thing too is they commit to homecoming in this movie so hard. A villain just tried to take over the world and basically Ultron the Earth with Sky High.
Wow.
And
Royal Pain, the original Ultron. I like that.
The original Ultron was Royal Pain. It was Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
You think Kevin Feige was watching Sky High and
absolutely
taking notes?
He was already pre-corkboard. He was buying the thread at Walmart to tie everything together and saw this movie and was like, "Oh,
wow, look at that.
I'm going to add this to phase 2."
He called up Joss Whedon as soon as he saw the Royal Pain plan.
He was
Got
like,
him on the horn.
I got an idea. There was an idea.
There was an idea.
But yeah, and like they commit after she pulls an Ultron or at least tries to pull an Ultron. They get everybody depacified, back to older, and they're like, all right, commence homecoming, and then they still go through with it. I was like, oh man. They were like, yeah, you're gonna have this dance.
And then that's when we hear the "I'll stop the world and melt with you."
The soundtrack in this movie had the potential to be so great because they opened with "Everybody Wants to Rule the World." I love that song. And then they closed with "I'll stop the world and melt with you." Like, it's there. It's there.
They were so close to greatness.
I feel like, what's funny is that at the beginning of the movie, when the credits are rolling and I'm hearing that intro to "Everybody Wants to Rule the World," like that guitar riff that comes through that.
Yeah.
And then you start hearing it. And then I saw it was like a Gunn Productions. I was like,
no way.
No, James Gunn didn't do this film.
Gunn?
No, but it was his name is Andrew Gunn, and he has Gunn Films. That's his production company.
Yeah,
and he did he kind of did a lot of these live action Disney movies. He did like the Country Bears. I don't know if you remember that.
No,
Country Bears. Never look it up. But he did Freaky Friday, Haunted Mansion, and
that's good.
Like Race to Witch Mountain. With The Rock.
Yeah.
He did Bedtime Stories with Sandler.
Don't know about that one.
You don't know Bedtime Stories with
No.
Adam Sandler? Okay.
No.
But he also worked on recently he worked on Cruella. But
really?
He's a producer, but he does a lot of these Disney live action movies. And
I think he has a pretty okay record then. Not a lot of stinkers in there.
You haven't seen Country Bears.
Oh, does it ruin the whole thing? Is it like
Country Bears is terrible.
Is it the bad apple enough to ruin the basket?
Country Bears almost ruined Pirates of the Caribbean because Country Bears was so bad that it's based on a ride from Frontierland. Country Bears was so bad. The CEO of Disney was like, pull the plug on all of these ride movies.
We will never do a ride movie.
We will never do a ride movie again. And then Gore was like, no, we got pirates.
I have an idea. Hold on.
He's like, cancel it. And he's like, no, trust me. This is going to be great.
We're getting Johnny Depp. Nope. You're not convincing
Pull the plug. We got Orlando Bloom.
All right.
Keep talking.
You've had my attention, but now you've got my curiosity. I was reading that this is the only thing I read about it after the movie because I forgot what made me look it up. But I was reading that the original idea for Sky High, even before it was called Sky High, was supposed to be a Kim Possible live action movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were making it as a Kim Possible movie first. And then that kind of got canceled. And then they were being told hey, can we rewrite this to be the Sky High script? Because they had a vague idea of what they wanted Sky High to be. And they're like, can we rework this and make it into Sky High? And that's what it was. And then at the end of the movie, I don't know if you got it too, but Kim Possible gets recommended at the end of Sky High. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I did not know that connection, but yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I'm trying to think of how this movie would work, script-wise in the context of Kim Possible. Would it have been Kim who is the main character?
Of course.
And she's leaving Ron Stoppable?
She's leaving him?
Ron Stoppable would have been Layla then. And that would mean that Kim would need to have a gender-bent Gwen.
Well, I'm sure they did a lot of changes. I don't think it was an exact just name change kind of thing. But you could tell from it being in a high school, you could tell from them being you could look at Kim Possible kind of like a hero. She doesn't have powers, but she has gadgets and she's smart and she could fight and things like that. Yeah. So I could see those connections. But also I wanted to say, going back to Royal Pain, Gwen Grayson, our Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah.
So you remember her name before she before she pacified herself
Yeah.
in the yearbook. Do you remember?
Sue Tenney?
Sue Teddy, yeah. So watching it the first time and as a kid, it was a huge reveal that it was her. It was obviously a twist for kids. But watching it older, you look at that yearbook and it's like, that's just Mary Elizabeth Winstead. How's nobody noticing that? You look at her and she's just wearing glasses. They're pulling a Clark Kent here.
Yeah,
And it
they
looks
really
just
were.
like her. Like, it's exactly her. And it's funny because there's like a second reveal where I guess Will was thinking, or everybody, like even the commander and Jetstream, they were thinking that's her mom. But
Yeah.
no, it's her. It's her just pacified. And also, I like the picture that she has where she's like in the science club or whatever. And she's holding the pacifier gun. Her face is so
Yeah.
funny. She's just like, I'm so over this. And like she doesn't care.
I wonder if they shot those pictures. I'm gonna pull it up. But yeah.
It's really funny.
It's so funny. What's funny too is I was like when I was watching it, I kind of forgot the twist. I was like, wait, I know she's the villain, but why is she the villain again? Because I hadn't seen it in a while. I didn't watch it when it came on Disney Plus. I watched it a lot when I was younger because I had it recorded on a VHS. Like, I watched it in theaters and then it played on Disney Channel, and I recorded it on a VHS like through that. Yeah, here's her face.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
She is just like,
You don't think she'd be a little happier that she created some de-aging
she's like, these fools
technology? Yeah.
holding back my greatness.
They have no idea.
They
what I'm
have
capable
no
of.
idea.
Oh,
This
you
is a
reminded
really-
me.
Uh-huh.
This is one of the things that I wrote down because I didn't want to forget. Do you get a lot of Power Rangers vibes from this movie, or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention that later. Like, Tony, I don't know about you, but I got a lot of Power Rangers vibes from this, and I love it. Her outfit looks so Power Rangers, and I dig it. I dig it so much.
Her little henchman. What's her name? His name?
Sketch.
The one that
Stretch?
was her dad. Her adopted dad. But yeah, basically whenever they were like using the camera that was inside the secret sanctum.
That's so Power Rangers.
Yeah.
That's so Power
It's so
Rangers.
Power Rangers. And then she chokes him and then the uncle.
So
Right?
So Power Rangers. It's crazy. There's like our listeners don't know this, but I think you know. I'm a huge Power Rangers nerd. I've seen all the Power Rangers except when they hit to Nickelodeon, but I'm a huge Power Rangers nerd. There's a Power Rangers called Power Rangers Turbo. There's a villain called Divatox, and she's super villain, and she has like her nephew with her. That's like her little henchman. Those are the vibes I get in these two. Like, I was this is straight up Power Rangers Turbo that I'm looking at.
I hope there's people out there who recognize those similarities.
Josh, you got me, Josh. I know you do.
There you go.
Stitches. That's the name of her like
Stitches.
Sidekick guy. Uncle. Stitches.
So you said you didn't know the original
I forgot the
idea of why
original-
she was a villain. Now
Yeah,
after
yeah.
watching it, what's her plan, Caroline? Why is she doing this?
Wait, you want me to explain like the movie, or you want me to explain my interpretation?
Not the whole movie, just her plan.
Yeah.
Do you know her plan now? Why she's a villain? All right.
She was always seen as the nerd. Her greatness was not recognized, and she wanted to build something to put these heroes in her place, in their place, and then also create a school for supervillains.
You know, this was also referenced by the teacher whose name I forget. He has a huge head. Huge bald head.
Yeah. Medullum.
I'm not sure.
I have the cast right here on Wikipedia. I'm
Oh,
trying
really?
to find his name. Yeah.
Oh,
Medulla.
Mr. Medulla?
Professor Medulla.
Oh,
But yeah.
Professor Medulla. That doesn't sound familiar at all. That's weird. I guess I just didn't hear it enough. But yeah, when she helps Will make his freeze gun by using her techno powers on it, he's like, oh yeah, it's an incredible superpower, but Will's going to be the one that'll be on a cereal box. You know, he's going to be the one that's going to have the fame and glory. And that kind of hinted at, and it's kind of true too, is like that the more glamorous power is the one where you could fly and punch things.
Yep.
But hers is so useful and dangerous.
We can't, I want to wait until later to bring it up, but like to talk about it more fully. But yeah, I think she's the one that I think has the coolest superpower, but I think it's the most useful. I think it's the coolest. I think that's Batman's superpower already. He's not like would she call herself a techno?
Something technopath? I don't know. With her mind?
Oh, Wikipedia says technopathy? Like telepathy, but
yeah.
technopath?
I think it is.
Technopathy?
I think she's a technopath, yeah.
I think that's so cool because Batman just has the money to buy all of these technical gadgets.
Well, she's pretty much like Cyborg. Not really. Cyborg hacks into the internet and stuff, but
Cyborg is half computer. She has the ability to like understand and control technology. And that to me gives me Batman vibes just because like Batman, everybody says his superpower is like being rich, but it's half
I'm rich.
Half martial arts, half rich, but it's the money to afford all these technical gadgets. You know, his batarang, his belt, you know, all the car, all of that. She has the ability.
Card gives
the
him
bat
access
credit
to
card,
all that.
The bat nipples, all of it.
Okay.
She's got she has like a really cool superpower. Like I think about like Rocket Raccoon. That's his thing. Is he's like the engineer and he has all these weapons and all of these different
But that gun that Rocket uses is basically her power.
Yeah.
I don't know if she well, of course she would understand the technology she's manipulating, but her power is basically constructing these things, and I guess she could deconstruct them as well if she wanted to. I don't know why, but
think about like I just think about it in terms of like an anime or a comic book where she could like break apart weapons and turn them into different weapons. Like you have the same materials, but she could like change it into like a freeze gun or a
Def Ray.
Like all these different things, but she has the materials there. Like that's a really good superpower. But she was overlooked. She was put in the sidekick class.
Yeah, that's another thing she didn't like. Now I feel like I want to bring this up because Layla was talking about this too. She was talking about the labels, and she's like, she
doesn't like the labels. We gotta do away with the labels.
Heroes versus sidekicks. We're all just people, she's saying. What do you think about Layla in this aspect? Because she always had something to say about, starting from the beginning, where she's visiting Jetstream at Will's house. And she's like, oh, do you want some bacon and eggs? And then, go ahead.
She's like, my mother can talk to animals, and they don't like being eaten.
And she's very much that kind of person. She's
very the vegan, and you know it in the room. Even at the end when Penny was like cornering her, and she's like, I don't believe in using my powers for violence. I'm like, girl, they're trying to drop the school. Use your vines, Poison Ivy. Let's go.
Or with Coach Boomer, like, I don't want to use my powers unless the situation demands it.
The situation demands it.
Well, this is a situation, and I'm demanding it. What do you think about her? How did you like Layla?
I like Layla as a person, but those were traits. I was like, girl, use your powers.
Rein it in a little bit.
Just use your powers, Layla. She has such cool powers. Think about the extent of her powers.
She's an earthbender.
Amazing. She's not an earthbender.
No, I know.
Not,
she
more
can't do
than
rocks
that.
And stuff.
More than that. She's a plant. She was creating life. She was like apple. I was like, girl, could solve world hunger.
She could grow a tree and then shrink a tree.
Yeah. She needs to take that power to the food bank. Help out some peeps.
Yeah. Well, that's
But
the thing for a
yeah.
lot of these superheroes. You could think of ways that they could do a lot more benefit to the world, but they're used just for
Yeah, it's for the
action
movie.
purposes.
But
Yeah, it's just for the movie.
I was
Like Ant
thinking
Man could
though,
use Hank Pym could make like giant pineapples and stuff and feed the world, but
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
I was thinking if her mom can talk to animals and they don't like being eaten, does that mean Layla can talk to plants? Do they like being eaten?
I would assume not. I
I was just wondering that logic where it's like, isn't that the thing about it? Like, that's like the meme response to like vegetarians and stuff. It's like, well, plants are alive too.
Yeah, plants are alive. What if they feel pain?
Yeah,
eat
yeah.
them?
But yeah, that was just my little nitpick on that. I mean, I don't know. When it comes to like her using her powers, like I don't believe in using my powers unless the situation demands it. I think that's a little bit extreme because you should want to like practice and like let's say you're in a life or death situation, you have to save someone, but you don't use your powers enough and you don't know you can do certain things, you don't practice, so you mess up or whatever. Like with great power comes great responsibility. Trademark. And
I think I've heard that before.
yeah. And I feel like that I didn't like that in her character. Not that like I didn't like it like Layla you suck, but just like come on girl, just use your powers. Just use your powers. But I do like her outlook on the labels between like hero and sidekick. This is the part where I'm like, okay, this movie has a lot in common with My Hero Academia.
Now that was always my joke. I'm like, I don't need to watch My Hero. I saw Sky High already.
yeah. I have a list of parallels between.
Oh, I want to hear that. Finish what you were gonna say, and then I want to hear that.
But My Hero Academia kind of took that idea and made it better because they don't have sidekicks. Like they don't have a hero class and a sidekick class. They have hero courses, but they have class 1A and class 1B. And 1B is like, it's unsaid, but they're kind of the sidekick.
I was just gonna say, yeah, this is to save people's feelings from being hurt.
Yeah, this
but
is
it
the
means
participation. This is the participation award version. But yeah. But yeah, they're taught to be heroes too. That's the thing. But like they're taught to also support heroes as well. So it's framed a little bit better. And I think that is a better way of handling it compared to like the school being all sidekick.
Hero.
I
like when he said it to Magenta. He's like, sidekick. Like with his little finger.
Yes. He's sidekick.
Not even a swarm of guinea pigs? No. Sidekick.
Also, it's so funny that his name is Coach Boomer. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Some of the kids get upset with him and they're like, okay, Boomer.
Okay, Boomer.
Okay, Boomer.
That's great. Is Bruce Campbell a boomer? I'm sure.
What year was he born in?
Boomer year?
Bruce
we got to fact check this.
Yeah, he's a boomer.
Yeah.
1958.
Nice. He made the cutoff.
He made the cut. Bruce Campbell is indeed a boomer. Sonic boom.
So when they reboot this movie, we're going to have a Coach Zoomer. Imagine what he's going to be like.
Oh, snap. He's going to be like the Flash.
How what's his name? Ezra Miller acts?
He's going to be Coach Zoomer.
Yeah.
He's got super speed. Zoom,
that's
zoom,
great.
zoom.
That's great.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Well, let's hear those parallels. Let's hear the parallels between...
Okay, just like right off the bat with terms of powers.
Yeah.
Coach Boom has the same power, and he's a teacher, by the way. Coach Boom, the teacher, same power as President Mike, who is a teacher in My Hero Academia. Same powers. Larry, the rock boy, the big rock boy.
Yeah.
Same powers as another one of the main characters. His name is Kirishima. And he has like a parallel character named Tetsu. They basically harden themselves to have like rock, like skin. The kid with the 6 arms, this is just all from like the hero to sidekick, like throwing in, throwing out. There's a kid with 6 arms. There's a character like that in My Hero. His name is Shoji. The acid spit. And these are all main characters. There's a main character like that named Mina. The shape shifting. Like the actual like shape shifting.
Not just a guinea pig?
Not the guinea pig, but the guy that was like copying the coach.
Oh, him. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. He like turned into the coach. That's a character in My Hero, but he's like in class 1B, which is interesting because the movie puts him in hero and then My Hero puts him like in this hero support.
Yeah, that's weird because that's hero.
Yeah.
For sure.
But they put the other thing too is like the way My Hero measures their like who lands in class 1A and who lands in class 1B is they have to make them take a test. They don't do it like they assess their powers and then assign them. They have to take like an exam, but it's a field exam. And they release these robots into a field. They have like a field of a fake city. They release robots into the field, and then they also release, and then like they just kind of set them out. But what they do is they grade them based on how many robots they take out, and then what's not said and what's not told to the applicants is if they help each other, that's also added to their score. So if they are a team,
like hero, it helps them?
Yeah. So if you just take down robots, that's like, okay, you're a good fighter, but does that make you a hero? It's the way that you help out each other, and if you save each other, that's what makes you a hero. So that's an unsaid rule in the My Hero Academia application process is if you save another applicant or if you help another applicant, that will boost your score more than just taking down robots. And so
this is kind of like their Save the Citizen.
Yeah, exactly. And the character that has like the shape-shifting powers that can shapeshift into anything, he wasn't what was it? There's like a joke in one of the episodes where he was like, I should be in the hero class. Like I should be in class 1A. And another character who's like his friend makes a jab and it's like, yeah, you would have been, but you were too selfish in the like application test. You were too busy taking out robots and you didn't even like bother to help anybody. So like that was like a big reason why some of these characters get like support versus main hero course. But also in like Sky High versus My Hero, the main character has no powers and then later on gets powers. And those powers happen to be like for Sky High, Will gets super strength and the ability to fly. And in My Hero Academia, Zuko Midoriya gets super strength. And it's like insane super strength to where he can basically make himself fly.
Yeah, but with My Hero, they have a lot of time, since it's a show, to really get a lot of story out of him not having powers. And then once he finally does get powers, I bet they have like other cool stories saying like, oh, he was a kid who never had powers before. Now he really appreciates it. Now he has to learn a new responsibility with what he can do now. And, we didn't have any of that in this movie. And this is just a kid's movie. You can't ask that much from it. But again, it kind of gets thrown away, the lessons that they're trying to tell, because he gets his super strength really early on, maybe like halfway through the movie or before halfway, and then he gets flight at the end. But in a show, you could really flesh it out.
Yeah, I agree. Just like in the intro of this show, we see that he has like no powers and then he eventually gets powers. His arch enemy, like his rival, War and Peace, has like firebending powers, and in My Hero Academia, the rival he's not like a firebender, but it's called like explosiveness, but basically he could make fire in his hands explode, which is almost the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of similarities in terms of like the characters themselves. The love interest, like there's in My Hero Academia, there's not like a clear, like romance is not the focus, but it's pretty clear that Izuku and his best friend, who's a girl, like they're probably going to get together in the end. So that's another one. There's no like Gwen in it, but because this is like an anime, they're not going to copy it word for word or anything.
Right.
But there's definitely a lot of similarities. The commander is basically All Might. Like All Might even has the red, white, and blue kind of outfit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Let me send you like a.
Well, I've
I know
seen
you.
All Might.
Yeah, I've known you definitely seen him, but like after watching Sky High, it's just uncanny. It's like, look at that. That's the commander.
Yeah, it even has similar, well, obviously colors, but
Yeah.
also similar shapes. Because you just reminded me, none of these students at Sky High, they don't have any costumes. They never get superhero costumes. So
Yeah.
Will, he always wears like all the shirts and jackets he wears. It has the red, white, and blue colors in some form, but it's never an actual suit, superhero suit.
I like that though. I thought that that was
Yeah,
pretty neat. I like that
it's
every time
interesting.
he.
It
I
is.
love that he stuck with his colors. Layla always wears green.
Yeah, Magenta
Magenta
always wears
always
purple.
wears always wears like a purple or magenta.
Yeah,
Zach always wears white or yellow.
it's cool. And then Ethan, orange for some reason. He just chose that.
Yeah, he's orange.
Yeah.
And then War and Peace is of course got the Zuko rep with his black and red. He's got his Shadow the Hedgehog looking hair.
Yeah, he dyes a strand of his hair.
I thought that was so cool. I wanted to do that when I was younger. And it wasn't
Dye one
allowed.
strand of hair.
Yep, just one
Or
part.
one lock,
I
I mean.
thought yeah.
But I gotta say, they really gave these guys some lame powers. Like, I understand they're supposed to realize that they're special, even being sidekicks, but wow. Ethan just melts into a puddle.
They wanted to emphasize the lameness.
He can't even move around like a water puddle and like slide around and do things like that. He just becomes a puddle and he comes back.
Yeah, I wondered if did he just get admitted to Sky High just because he has a power?
Yeah. Yeah, if you have a power, you're obviously not human. You're special to some extent. But then you have to get ranked sidekick or hero, and look, I mean, wow, it's just funny how, and then Zach just glows. It's not even like a radioactive glow, not even like blindingly. He can't even blind people with how bright he could glow. It's just a glow. He's like a glow stick. And then Magenta, a little guinea pig. She could be helpful. She could sneak around and stuff, you know?
I wonder if she has the if that's just her having like a power block. If like eventually she can turn into other animals, she could have like a Beast Boy superpower.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Then she would be hero category in Sky High.
That's something that My Hero kind of expands on, that like the powers you first show up with are not the powers you leave with, because they teach you how to train and use your power so that way it can grow, because they say that it's like a muscle. So the more you train with it, the more you use it, the more that you could do with it. So like if we take that knowledge and that same kind of outlook and apply it to Sky High, we can have some pretty cool characters. But they definitely started off, and they wanted them to start off pretty lame.
I always like the idea of that the hero still has the ability to get better, and they're not just at a static, just superpower. The first time, this happens in a lot of different superhero stories and animes and stuff. Like, I know Goku always trains to get stronger, but
Oh yeah.
the first time I really saw it and thought it was cool was in Incredibles, where Mr. Incredible is training to get back into shape and get more strength and, you know, get back in the hero game and stuff. I thought that was interesting. I always liked that idea.
That's a huge part of My Hero Academia. I think that a lot of the arcs, there's like a whole arc dedicated to just them in school learning and figuring out how to use their powers differently. And like the teachers will tell them, you can't always just rely on the same kind of gimmicks, or, you know, think that your power is good enough that you don't need to work hard or expand anymore. You always should be bettering yourself and trying to figure out what new limits you can like hit with your powers, or if you could break it and move past it. And that's always for the betterment. Like it like opens up new possibilities every time they do that in the show. And it's always super cool because they all learn to challenge themselves. And I really like that, like that something like an anime was able to address that when it comes to superpowers. I think that that's also really cool.
Yeah, then they were able to do that with this movie to some extent. They made all their powers, they gave them a moment to be useful at the end. You know, Zach glowing in the air duct.
Yeah.
Magenta
Magenta's
breaking, you know, crawling
That's the
through the
thing.
pipes and stuff.
A lot of their powers do. I don't want to like. I know they're not in the labels, but they really are hero support. If there was
Yes.
a danger in the city, like definitely these could be ways to like reach people and reach areas that cannot really be reached.
Except for
or,
melting, unless you're gonna melt through
yeah, that's
a
like
floor grate or something, a sewer.
yeah, that's true. If you wanted to melt through a grate or get get somewhere that other people can't get through, be like, quick, toss me,
Yeah,
put them in a
flick
cup.
me.
I was thinking too hard about Ethan's power because when I saw Flash slip, I was like, if he forms up,
Yeah, what was
does
his name? Like Zoom or
Zoom
Dash
or
or
I think it was.
I know the other one's Lash, like Whiplash. Oh no, not Whiplash because I'll be fast. But his name is Lash. I don't know. The stretching guy was named Lash. I don't know why.
Let's see.
But the fast guy,
Lash
Mr. Speedy.
and Speed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did. I thought they rhymed too. I was like Lash and Dash.
It should have
But
been Lash
no.
and Dash.
Yeah, they had Lash and Speed.
Oh well. But yeah, what were you gonna say about that?
Oh, when when Speed trips on him, I thought to myself like, wait, because like water or like liquid spreads, if Ethan was to form up, does that mean like to a molecular level, every molecule goes back to him? Or like if he gets slipped on, does that mean like he forms up, but like a part of him is somewhere else on the ground, or does it magnetize and go back to him? I was sitting there too long thinking about that. I was like, wait.
You were doing research on the science of this.
I was giving this movie too much credit in thinking that they would think through it. And here I was like trying to formulate and figure out this kid's power.
It's not possible. Cancel the movie. It's not possible.
I was like, wait, how does he do it? Does that mean... But what if you split him into two cups and he tries to form up? Do we get two Ethans, or does one part magnetize to the other part and it just becomes Ethan again? Like that, these are the things I was thinking of.
My guess is that it always becomes one Ethan no matter where it's at. It's just all gonna come
But
back
if you
together.
put part of him in a sealed cup and he tries to form up, what would happen?
Yeah, you can ask those questions like, what if you take that cup out of the country? Then what would happen? Will they find each other?
Exactly. These are the thoughts that plague me.
I think he would reform and he'll be missing an arm, and then on the other side, just an arm forms.
An arm in a cup.
Yeah.
It's just-
Yeah, something like that.
This is a real tangent side note, but Will got an Xbox.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was so excited to see, like, oh, open it.
Yeah.
What
I
kind
wanted
of
to see the
Xbox
box.
is it? What kind of Xbox is it?
I wanted to see it. Also, wait, that's Xbox era, right? That's not 360. This is
That's
2005.
Xbox original. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Wait,
because 2005, it could have been a 360, because that's 360.
Xbox 360 launch.
2005, right? Tell me the truth.
2001. Wait, nope.
No,
nope.
for 360.
I read it wrong. Launch
Yeah, 2001 is the original Xbox.
November 2005.
There you go. So it could... Wait, no, but then this
Yeah.
movie came out in July, you said.
Yeah, that's
So
correct.
this is an original Xbox.
He got it too soon. He should have waited till Christmas.
All right, guys, we uncovered that for you. It's an original Xbox, not an
Can
Xbox
confirm.
360.
I mean, in a way, that's good. He is stopping himself from getting the red ring of death. You need to get a later 360, not the first 360s.
Yeah, or he could always do the towel trick, but that only hold him off for like a month or two.
Look at him. He's Will Stronghold. He ain't got time for a towel trick.
Yeah, he does. Will, he's not doing much.
He might be now with his super strength and
Yeah.
flying.
And going to real estate classes.
That's a trait that I think that is so cool that the movie handled, is the possibility of having no powers because you have two superhero parents.
Yeah,
In
but what do you think? Should he have gotten powers or no?
I don't know. I kind of like that they left it up to chance. It's a little sad when you have somebody like Ron Wilson, who it's like, oh, his parent, like he has parents that are two superheroes, and he didn't get any powers. And the movie suggests that's a possibility with Will, and that's the thing too. Is like Will even comes to terms with that. He tells his father, and then you see his parents are both kind of like, okay, at least he can always go into real estate. It's fine. We still love him. And then he gets powers. And it's like, oh, okay, throw out all those lessons.
Yeah.
We don't need it. You have powers. Here's an Xbox. Woo!
Yeah, and the mom says we don't have to be the Stronghold 3 of the best superhero family in the world. We could be the Stronghold 3, the best family in the world.
Exactly. I
Which
think
is
that
nice.
that's so sweet. That's so nice. And that was such a great family development for them. But then, whoop, he gets powers. I'm going to keep making comparisons to My Hero, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm just going to do it because I make a lot of comparisons to that already in my mind. In My Hero, they present it like it's a rarity. It's like being born with like left-handed, but a little bit more rare than that. Because I think left-handed
What, to have powers or
to not have powers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The main character is quirkless because like in their
Caroline, if
powers,
everyone
like,
is super, then no one is.
well, like the thing is everybody has a different degree of superpower. His like the main character's mom, she doesn't have telekinesis. She can make things no heavier than I think she said like a full water bottle. She can make things like that float towards her. And his father can like breathe fire. But that's it. And then there are some characters that their quirk is like they're able to do math really really good. Like, it's just like
I wish I had that one.
You kind of do. You can do math pretty well.
Nah, basic math when I'm trying to figure out
No, you were
regular
over here like,
percentages.
what's 30 times this? And I'm over here pulling out the calculator, and you beat me when I'm trying to type it into the calculator.
That's what I'm saying. Basic math, not like superhero math.
Oh, well, like, yeah, but I'm saying you're pretty good at like math. You're pretty good. Don't discount.
I'll take it. I'll take a compliment.
Don't discount yourself.
I'll take a compliment. Thank you. All right, go ahead.
But like in My Hero, there's different degrees of power. Everybody has a quirk, but not everybody has superhero powers. Everybody has a little bit of something. But to be born completely with no powers is seen as something very rare. I think they said like 6% of the population has no powers in My Hero Academia.
Yeah, that's strange. Yeah, that's a really low percentage.
So that's another thing too as to why the main character is it's such a heartbreak for him that he doesn't get powers. And in the case of Will, it's like his parents are not just superheroes, but like the superheroes. His parents are like Superman and Wonder Woman. Like
Exactly.
they're like super powerful. And for him, like I kind of digged the possibility of him having no powers. Ultimately, if I had to pick though between him having powers and having no powers, I think I do like him having powers, but I don't know. I think the movie was just trying to portray so many different messages at once, where it was like, oh, even if you have no powers, we still love you. But then he does get powers, and then it's like, okay, well, now you have to be true to your friends. And then, okay, now you have to like learn to use your powers for the good. I don't know. The messaging was just a little bit off.
Yeah, and I felt like maybe I'm asking too much of a kids movie, but they really could have like nailed those moments of like, hey, we still love you, you're still special without powers. I'm leaning towards I think it would have been better if he didn't have powers. Watching it the first time as a kid, I thought that's really cool. He got his powers. But watching it now and just thinking like, what would make a better story if he never got powers? And I feel like all of the third act and the finale could have still worked. He could have just been, and this is also kind of it's also kind of a trope, but they could have just made him smart, like really focus on learning Like he knows a lot about superheroes, superpowers, supervillains. That's also a My
the
Hero thing.
that
Doesn't
is,
it?
yeah,
Yeah,
big time. That's like because the main character, when he gets his superpower, he doesn't know how to use it. So the way he makes it until he learns how to use it is because he studied superheroes so much that he has like a notebook that he's written down all of their quirks and their weaknesses and their strengths and things like that. So that's how he gets by in the first arc. But he could have had the Mary Elizabeth Winstead power from 10 Cloverfield Lane. He could have just been really resourceful.
exactly.
Like, always figure out what to do in a situation. Like, okay, we can't do this, we'll do this. Can't do that, I'll do that.
Yeah, he could have been like the planner, or they could have given him the leadership position, even without powers, and tell him like, "Hey, you're small enough to crawl in there. How about you crawl through there? We'll guide you." And then, hey, Warren, you take on Royal Pain with Layla. You guys can team up because they actually have powers. They're like heroes, pretty much.
Yeah.
Was Warren a hero? He was, right? Or was he a
yeah,
sidekick?
he was not in the sidekick class. He was
All right.
definitely a hero.
All right, but yeah, and then that, it could have been a little different, but the same thing gets accomplished. They could take out Royal Pain without him.
And then at the end be like, yeah, we could have done, like, yes, we have these powers, but we couldn't have done it without you, Will. Like, bringing us together.
Exactly. And a scene that kind of bothered me, well, not really, I was just like, that was their reaction, is when Will got thrown out the window and no one knows he could fly. He is technically dead in everyone's eyes. And then Layla is just like, oh no, like, oh, all right, Will's gone. And then Royal Pain goes, all right, you just lost your only chance of beating me. And then she goes,
It's
we'll
like,
see about that. And like, not enough mourning for like watching her crush and longtime friend die. Just
yeah, yeah.
she just goes immediately back to, and I guess you could explain it with like adrenaline, or she has to take care of what's the problem in front of her.
She wants revenge.
She saw someone she loved and cared deeply about die if he wasn't able to fly.
It's just, no. All right, back
She's
in
like,
action.
all right, we'll see about that.
But that's another like decommy thing about this movie. Like,
Yeah.
that's another, like, I just feel like there's a lot of scenes where it's very decommy.
And again, it's a kid's movie. He's not gonna die.
He's not gonna die. He's not gonna die.
It's okay.
They ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think that's why like a movie like Encanto got such a big deal when Mirabel did not get a power.
Yeah.
And the movie kind of holds out, like, especially when they put the house together. Like, by the way, spoilers for Encanto or anybody who hasn't seen it.
Here we go.
But like at the end of the movie, when they put the house together, and that it's just kind of accepted that none of them have powers anymore. None of the family are special. Like, they don't have these gifts, and they're just going to start living in the house as a normal family. And then that they put the doorknob into the house, and it's like, boom, everybody's got their powers back. And I remember there's a couple of friends that saw the movie who thought that when that happened, they were like, oh, now Mirabel's going to get a power because it's like complete. Like, the family is complete now. And no, she never does. Like, the movie commits to it. Like, no, she's not going to get a gift. But like, that's the whole point of the movie, is that we're trying to tell you she doesn't get a gift, and that's fine. She's still a member of the family.
Since we're already in spoilers for Encanto, this is one of the things that I say is, like, the story is like okay, because as soon as she's singing, the first song, like the Family Madrigal, and the kids are asking like, what's your power? And she doesn't say it immediately. I feel like 100 miles away, you could tell what this whole movie is going to be about. She doesn't have powers, and she's going to learn that she's special without them. Boom. Like, immediately. And I already knew, like, she's never going to have powers. I'm like, she's never going to have powers. That was already my guess right off the bat.
I didn't. When the movie came out, it came out in theaters only. I think it hit Disney Plus Christmas Day. I remember the day after the movie came out in theaters, because I think it came out Thanksgiving Day. I Googled, like, does Mirabel get powers at the end of the movie? Yeah, I did.
You want to spoil yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do that sometimes.
Okay.
And I really didn't think that they were going to do it. I thought they would pull like a Sky High and eventually give her powers, because I don't know. I'm just not used to seeing movies commit to that. But
Man, I got to think of a few more. I can't off the top of my head, but I just knew, like, yeah, she's never getting powers because that's the point of the story. She has to learn that she's special without them. And that's what Sky High kind of does half-heartedly. Like, he's learning that he's special without powers, but then he gets all the powers. But, yeah, it's... And those are some of the movies I was thinking about. There was another one I was thinking about. You know, My Hero, Encanto, and there's another one. It's just like, that's the common story, you know? You just learn, hey, you can still be a hero without powers. That's always a message. You know, so it's been done before. But yeah, Sky High, I guess it just wasn't hitting those beats that I wanted it to on this most recent rewatch for me.
this is another side note, but in Sky High's Wikipedia, if you go to see also on the bottom, like other recommended Wikipedia articles, it's like see also My Hero Academia.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You got to make those comparisons. Superpowers in high school, come on.
Come on. Also Zoom. Do you remember the movie Zoom?
Zoom?
With Tim Allen?
No.
That was pretty good. That was a pretty good superhero family movie.
Really?
It's about it's the same thing. It's like a superhero academy, but this time it's like, think of like I can't remember exactly like what he is, but I just know, think of like a Batman character, but he's not Batman, like he's not brooding or anything, but he like starts a little academy for these teenagers who have powers.
So he's like a Professor X.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
But that was a pretty good movie. I remember really liking it. I think I only saw it like 3 or 4 times though.
I don't remember that movie.
Let me post the poster.
There was that other one that gets recommended. If you click on Sky High, they also have Up, Up, and Away. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't. But I know which one you're talking about. Like, I've seen the poster for that.
I don't think it has the same... Yeah, I've never seen this. Zoom. Yeah, I have not seen this.
Is this a decom? Up, Up, and Away? I'm just looking at
Up,
it right
Up, and
now.
Away is not a decom, but it is a Disney movie.
Oh, yeah, it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah. And it's not the story that we were just talking about somebody who doesn't have powers. It's a family with superpowers.
Like Incredibles?
Yeah. But I forgot, like, the driving force of the story. I just know... Well, actually, I don't know if it's a spoiler, but... They have a weakness. I don't know if you remember. They have a weakness, kind of like a kryptonite. But it's a regular thing you could find on Earth. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. A lot of superhero comparisons going on.
A lot of these superhero family comparisons going on.
Yeah.
I said it's kind of... When did this movie come out? Because, like, Sky High's 2005, Up, Up, and Away is 2000, and Zoom is 2006.
Look at that. But Zoom, that's not on Disney Plus, is it?
No, it's on HBO Max.
Oh, okay.
I think this is a movie that was created to...
Rival.
Yeah, to rival Sky
What, Sky High?
Because it was done by... what's it called? Was it Fox? Or I think it was Columbia.
It says here, yeah, Columbia Pictures right here.
Columbia Pictures. I just see it.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, they work in collaboration with Disney sometimes. I don't know. I just feel like this movie, because this movie does have a lot of Sky High connections. They have like the bad boy. I think the only difference is that the powers, they don't have like the same, it's not the same as like Sky High where it's like heroes in high school, they don't have powers. It's more about like family and more about working together and putting like your egos aside and things like that. And also like, I think I'm trying to remember, but I just remember like the girl has super strength. There's like a little girl and she has super strength, and that's like a big issue in the movie is that like she's a girl and everybody treats her like a girl, but she wants to be a hero. So it's not like the Sky High plot, but it's definitely like young teenagers with powers.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, you could tell from the poster who does what. Mm-hmm. Stretch. The little kid that stretches.
Oh yeah, Stretch. I think the girl
Invisible
has
guy.
like the girl next to Tim Allen, the older girl has the same power as the daughter from The Incredibles. She has like force fields.
Oh, okay. I bet this is an interesting movie too.
I remember liking it. I'm looking at it on Wikipedia right now, and it got a Razzie, which is a
Oh,
bad,
that means
like a
it's really
stinker.
bad. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it got one Razzie for worst actor, and that went to Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
It's got Courtney Cox though. It's my
Really?
girl. Yeah,
She's not even on the poster. They're not even gonna
she's not on the
market
poster.
her.
No, she's not like a hero. According to Wikipedia, she's a psychologist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Chevy Chase is in this movie? What? Kate Mara. Wow.
But I guess to round up the Sky High talk, one of the other things I was looking at is that I guess they were trying to include some actors of significance, or I think the director, or maybe it was a casting director, whoever it was. They're trying to get like their inspirations of heroes in this movie. So obviously Linda Carter, Wonder Woman as the principal,
Wonder Woman.
and then
She even
Bruce
makes a
Campbell.
line.
Yeah, she name drops Wonder Woman at the end.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell,
Campbell.
not your traditional hero, but he is Ash. A lot of people like him from Evil Dead. So there he is for
Definitely
that.
not traditional. I definitely didn't know who Bruce Campbell was when I saw this movie as a kid. Kurt Russell. I knew Kurt Russell.
Yeah. Kurt Russell, he is in the hero territory now through Guardians, but it was somebody else. I forgot who else.
What was it? This is a side note, but Kurt Russell, I didn't know this. He signed a 10-year deal with Disney in like the 70s and 80s to the 80s. And there's a lot of Kurt Russell movies on Disney Plus. If you were to like look it up, it's like The Boy Who Became a Computer or something. And then he's just got like a lot of live action Disney movies under his belt. Including, and then like he came back. He's always known for working for Disney because he even did Miracle. He did
Tron.
Sky High. Yeah, Tron. He did Guardians, all of that. And he's done a lot of Disney movies.
Can't blame him.
Can't blame him.
They pay well, I assume.
He's been acting for a long time. He's been in a lot of movies.
They got a really good actor for this movie.
Mm-hmm. Who's the one that plays his mom? Kelly Preston. That's who it was. She's the wife of John Travolta.
What, in real life?
Mm-hmm.
Still?
Still, yeah, they're still married.
Oh, okay. Good for
Yeah,
them.
she
Good for
is
them.
John Travolta's wife.
Yeah, and I know Obi-Wan has Elizabeth.
Snatch your girl.
I hope he's treating her right. That's all I'm gonna say.
Everybody wanna steal my girl. Yeah, they have a kid.
He's treating her and the kid right. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, I was gonna say, I hope she's treating Ewan right. She got the best Jedi
What?
in the galaxy.
Shout out to Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon was in like one movie.
You can
And
say
he
that
said
about
he was-
so many Star Wars characters.
I mean, yes, that's obviously true, but I'm saying, how does Qui-Gon become the best Jedi just from being in one movie when Obi-Wan...
There's probably like 45 books about him saying that he's the best Jedi in the world.
They're all not canon anymore.
Yeah, but this was pre-Disney era. When Qui-Gon existed, it was pre-Disney.
In the movies, Obi-Wan is like best Jedi.
Obi-Wan? Wouldn't that be Luke?
Luke...
I know what we're talking about here. I know you like him the best, but
Luke is best boy.
Isn't it technically Caroline? Do we edit all that, or I mean,
Luke is best boy, but Obi-Wan is best Jedi. He just, when you think
best
about a
boy,
Jedi...
old man Luke.
No. I disregard. We are not talking about sequels. This is excluding sequels. This is 6 movies, 1 through 6. That's it. Obi-Wan is best.
Qui-Gon.
Obi-Wan is best Jedi. When you
What about
think about
Qui-Gon?
a Jedi Knight, That's Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan just encompasses what it is to be a Jedi Knight.
What about Qui-Gon?
Qui-Gon walked so Obi-Wan could run. I'll give him that.
What about Annie?
No.
No?
Not best Jedi. How dare you?
You don't think so?
No. But all right, enough of Star Wars. I could go on to this all day. I have some questions for you.
Well, all right. Well, I just want to clear up that I know he's in the dark side, but he got redeemed, and wouldn't that put him back in the category of best Jedi?
No, when I say best, I don't mean most powerful.
I
mean
know what you're
overall
talking
best.
about. You're talking about like most handsome. I know that.
No. Kindest, the nicest, and the most Jedi-like. Best Jedi.
Qui-Gon.
It's Obi-Wan.
It's Qui-Gon.
It's Obi-Wan.
It's Qui-Gon Jinn.
It is
Liam
not
Neeson
Qui-Gon
himself.
Jinn.
He has
It
a
is
particular set
Obi-Wan.
of skills.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi from episode 3 comes pretty close. Yes.
Obi-Wan Kenobi in episode 1, he's a Padawan. You see
Yeah.
the youngin. Obi-Wan Kenobi from episode 2 onward.
No, but the hair doesn't work, and he doesn't have the beard yet. He's not
He
full
looks
capacity
like
Obi-Wan
our Lord
yet.
and Savior Jesus Christ. Does that not cement him?
No, he's still a little off. He's still slightly off
Obi-Wan
from full
Kenobi
savior mode.
in episode 3, and then especially I think like in episode 4, episode 5 and 6 when he's like the wise old man.
Yeah, but what he's Ben Kenobi.
That's best Jedi.
Wait, which one? Because now you mentioned 3. I mean, you mentioned 4.
I'm talking about overall as a character tone. I'm not talking about just movie. I'm talking about
I think
overall.
you're not giving enough credit to Qui-Gon. I think because he was only in one movie, you're like, that's not enough. And it's unfair that you got to see Obi-Wan so much. And you're discrediting Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon is a good Jedi, but I'm just saying Obi-Wan took Qui-Gon a step further. Like, he is what Qui-Gon is in episode 1, but he goes beyond that. He sees it through.
Let me tell you, Caroline. A good leader doesn't create followers. A good leader creates leaders. Qui-Gon,
did Gary
Master
Vee tell you
Jedi.
that?
No, this was Jordan Peterson. Qui-Gon, he didn't create a Padawan. He created a Jedi. All right? So what does that say about Qui-Gon? And what did Obi-Wan create?
He tried his best.
All right, let's move on. What are these questions? Did I get you? Did I get you on that?
No. I
Come
still
on. I think I got
firmly believe.
No, I think I got
It's
it.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No, not to convince you. I think I got you in the
It's
logic.
not about who your Padawan becomes. It's about who you are.
I know, but it's an influence of like, show me your friends. And
Also,
show me
if
your friends,
anything-
I'll show you your future. That's a Gary Vee. He doesn't say that. I'm kidding.
That's Youth Pastor 2003.
I was listening to a sermon before this.
Oh my gosh. All right. Out of all the characters in Sky High, who's your favorite?
I'm gonna have to exclude Mary Elizabeth Winstead, right? Because
I know. Me too. I was like,
all right.
Excluding Mary Elizabeth Winstead. We all agree.
So Zach.
Okay.
Yeah, Zach.
Okay.
Zach Attack. I like him. Well, who's yours?
Warren.
Oh, that makes sense. I should have thought of that. Yeah.
I like the bad boys. Yeah, it's Warren.
He has that quote. I mean, they made the joke that he read it from the
fortune cookie.
Fortune cookie, but yeah, it was good.
He just knows the way to the lady's heart. He's a bad boy with a sensitive side.
Before you go on, I do want to say I was really liking Gwen and Will together. It sucks that she was manipulating him the whole time, but if that wasn't the plot, it was really nice that she wanted to tutor him, and then they went on a date. And
I would have fully shipped it if she wasn't like the villain, or even I think I was on her side until she was mean to Layla at the party.
Yeah.
When she went like full villain on her, I was completely like, I was liking this. I was liking the ship of her and Will, and then get Layla and Warren together. That makes sense. Like I was like, yeah, stick with this. But when Gwen got all blah.
And I like the moment at the end of their date. I don't think it was really a date, but they were hanging out.
When he walked her home?
Walked her home. They're about to seal the deal with a kiss, but then the dad comes out she has to go inside, and then he's like, "You're not the kid with the 6 arms, are you?" He's like, "No, just the 2." He's like,
just 2.
"All right, keep him to yourself." And closes the door, and then she sneaks out to like steal a little kiss. Yeah, that was good.
That was so cute. Good. Yeah,
but I'm like, dang, it's too bad she's been planning this for years. So.
I was on the Will and Gwen train when the movie wanted us to be. I was like, yeah, I accept this.
That just made me bring up another question, though. What? Sorry, but I just thought of it. When people get pacified, she had all her memories of being, whatever her name was, Sue.
Mm-hmm. Sue Tenney.
Mm-hmm. So she's a little baby, but she's self-aware of what her... Yeah, she's still evil. She still remembers what happened to her, and she still wants to go through with this plan of pacifying everybody else.
Yep.
Wow, so...
That's commitment.
Okay. Imagine that. Imagine reliving middle school, high school, college, but with the knowledge of who
I think she did it, not like in terms of the evil villain side, but she did it exactly as I would want to do it. Because, like, she was the nerd, she was the outcast and everything in her first life.
Yeah.
And she knew going to high school, I'm going to be the cool kid. I am not going to make, like, the same mistakes.
Yeah, and she knew how to be the cool kid.
Exactly. I was like, she did it perfectly. She did it exactly as the way I would have done it. Just minus the evil plan part.
All right, go ahead. What's the rest? What do you got?
If you could have a power out of any of the powers in this movie, what would it be? In this movie.
Okay, I like that one. I'm gonna... Man, Gwen's is good. That might have to be number 1. But then also, I'm thinking about Layla's mom talking to animals. I think that'll be awesome. Like wild thornberries.
I would love to talk to my puppy.
But then I'll go vegan after that for sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I would avoid. I don't know. I love meat. I'm just full Texan. I love meat, but I would have to avoid talking to cows.
No, but then every time you drive by, you hear, "There she is. She eats us. That's the villain."
Or what's worse, if you like hear them crying or something. Oh, if they know their fate.
Yeah. So.
I would not want to talk to animals. I'm fine in my ignorant bliss.
I'll talk to animals and I'll sacrifice eating delicious food.
Yeah, because you have that willpower. Willpower. I was fully on board with when I was thinking about that question, I was like, I want Mary Elizabeth Winstead's power. I want that technopath. But I also really like what's it called? Sonic Booms. I like his side kick.
So you would want to use that?
I would, yeah. I kind of like that a lot.
How would you use it?
I don't know. I just go and scream at villains.
Scream at villains?
Yeah, just blast them away with the power of my voice.
Well, I was thinking, we would kind of apply these powers to our real world. There probably won't be villains. So I was thinking the technopath would be a useful skill. Talking to animals will be nice. But being able to scream loud, I don't know how much use you'll get out of that. I think it's cool. Maybe like a cool party trick, but...
I could call my kid when I get older and I'm at a store. I'd be like, "Hey, I'm leaving."
Timmy! Yeah, that's true.
Fired!
You could fire people, that's right.
Yeah, you're fired.
You don't need to ever honk your horn when you're driving. Just yell out the window.
Dip my head out the window and go, "Hey!"
Yeah.
And then it just blasts all the cars.
Oh, that's a good one. If you get road rage, you just sonic boom people off the road.
Oh.
But then you'll be a villain.
Yeah. This is where we cross into villain territory. They would send somebody to try and stop me. But no, number 1 was definitely Gwen's power. I want those techno powers. I want to be able to fix things. Davey always makes fun of me that all of my technology breaks when I use it. I think it's because I had 4 mix sticks and I broke them. I don't know how they broke. On it. I don't know how they broke.
Overuse.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Nobody anticipated somebody using them all day. But Davey always jokes that my my technology always breaks or whatever. So I would want that power just to be like, oh, not again, and then wave my hand and then it fixes itself.
Yeah, imagine just tiny little repairs that you got to do for your phone or mix sticks.
Like Joy-Con drift.
Oh man. You'll make a killing.
Oh yeah.
Fixing Joy-Cons.
I'd be like I feel like what is it, like those healers? I'd be like, bring me all of your broken technology. I wave my hands. Lines
going across blocks and blocks of the building that you're sitting in.
Open my own side business. Yeah. And I call it like there's a place here called You Break I Fix, and it's supposed to be
yeah, we have that. You fix iPhones or just any phone.
Yeah, like technology phones kind of things. I would be like a geek squad, but they'd walk in and it's just kind of like a chill place. They'd be like, "Oh, where's all the tech?" And I'm like, "Bring it here, child." Wave. You're just sitting
on a pillow on the floor. Bring it here.
You
just wave your hand.
It works now.
Go on. Live your life.
That'll be $50. Thank you.
Leave your money at the door.
We accept tips. Cash App, PayPal.
Yeah, I'm convinced now. I mean, I already said her power was great, but yeah, I'm definitely choosing that now.
Oh yeah.
Imagine just anything, any phone, any tablet.
You could make those, because they say the iPhone only lasts for like 2 or 3 years. They like make them to break. You would destroy Apple anytime. Just be like, it works.
Yeah, every time.
Your
battery doesn't drain in an hour anymore. It's fixed.
All right, the next one's going to be a little bit of a lightning round, but not a lightning. I want you to come up with something on the spot. But
okay.
You can think about the first one, but for the second one, it has to be on the spot. Okay, so this is kind of an A and B. They're going to lead into each other. Number 1, if you could have any superpower, like just right now, not within the realms of the movie, any superpower right now, what would it be?
Teleportation. Easy.
Okay, come up with a superhero name for that right now.
Mr. Teleport. I give away my power. In the day. Mr. T for short.
Wait, what?
Mr. T for short? Mr. Teleport?
Mr. T.
Yeah.
That's cute.
How'd I do? Did I pass?
That was beautiful. Of course you passed.
Did you? You can't do this because I'm sure you thought about it. So what did you think about?
Yeah, I can't do it because I was over here like getting questions set up. But
so let's hear your epic power and your epic name that you came up with all the time. Oh no, yeah. Let's hear
it. I thought about what's it called? Being able to like not just turn invisible, but like go through walls. So like kind of be like a ghost, but not a ghost. Like I'm not dead,
so
obviously,
Danny Phantom,
but just yeah, like be like a Danny Phantom. And then I thought of the name Spectre. I was watching James Bond.
Oh yeah, look at that.
But like I had time. I was over here like thinking
so you
about
came
it.
up with cool things.
Yeah. This is not Mr. T. But although if I had to have a power today, like not like for like just a convenient power, it would be teleportation. And I think I would be I'm trying to like do it to myself because I've always said if I had a superpower, it would be to teleport because then I wouldn't have to like buy a car, spend money on gas. I could just be like just 2 different places at once.
Oh, that's the absolute best superpower for real life purposes.
Absolutely.
You can live anywhere. You can work anywhere. Just teleport wherever you work. Teleport to family. Teleport to friends.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And then if you are like working and you want to take a nap, teleport to your bed for like 5 minutes and then teleport back.
All right, I got a 30-minute lunch. Teleport to bed. Set an alarm.
Yeah. Gotta go back to work. Ka-ching.
Yeah. Teleport to Italy. Eat a pizza. Teleport back. They kind of did that in the movie too.
Yeah.
They said Jetstream on the way home from work, she would stop by Italy, grab a pizza, bring it home.
That was funny too. That's very Invincible. They do that in Invincible.
Yeah. What's his name?
Omni-Man?
Omni-Man does that, yeah.
He takes his wife to like Sicily just for the morning.
Yeah, that's great.
I think I would be misplacement, but it would be misplacement.
Everyone, thanks for listening. It's been a great show. I'm serious. Bye.
Yeah, I guess we could end it there. I had other questions, but they're not.
Oh, all right. No, let's hear it. I want to hear these questions. What do you got?
Okay. Just like on the same vein as superheroes, do you have a favorite superhero? Just in general?
Do you think I have a favorite superhero, Caroline?
I did it for the pod, Tone.
Oh, all right. I thought you were cranking it up to 90% again.
I don't want to
We're just pretending we don't know each other. Is this the podcast? So, Caroline, have you seen any animes? Are you a fan of anime?
I think I had like a bullet underneath it, and I guess I must have lost my train of thought when I was making these questions, because I think I was going to ask you to rattle off some of your favorite superheroes and then like have your favorite. Because I was thinking about like all of these hero type movies. And you know what, though? I think that's where this train of thought was kind of coming from. After watching Sky High, I've spoken to you about this app called Webtoon. And they have like little web comics on it. You know? Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, I used it for a while, too.
So on Webtoon, there's a comic called Wayne Family Adventures. And it's sponsored and it's done by DC. It's official. But they just take a wholesome approach to the Bat family. And to Batman and his just huge array of sidekicks. And it's so wholesome and it's so cute and funny to read. It's basically like if they weren't broken people. Like, because I feel like DC Comics likes to portray Batman and all his sidekicks as like super angsty, always in conflict. There's a comic arc, where I think I said art, where Jason Todd, who is, people don't know, that's the second Robin who died and then came back and now he's Red Hood. Jason Todd and Batman have a pretty dysfunctional relationship because of the whole dying and coming back and stuff. And there is an arc where like the Bat family is basically broken apart because the current Robin, who is Batman's biological son, Damian, he dies. And Batman basically, he tries to go after Jason Todd because he wants Jason Todd's secret as to how he came back to life, to kind of do the same thing to Damian to bring him back. And that whole comic book is just really sad because it basically tears apart the Bat family. All of the other former Robins and the other sidekicks are on either side of like Jason or Batman. And then it's really sad because like Jason sees Batman as like a father figure. So that whole comic book is just really sad. And then going to read like the Wayne Family Adventures, it's so happy. It's so lighthearted. It's such a breath of fresh air. And Sky High is what made me like be like, you know what? I feel like reading comic books again. I feel like reading something that is superhero, but I don't want it to be depressing. And so I was on a binge reading last night of just reading the Wayne Family Adventures. And it's just so fun. It's just so fun to read Batman be a good guy and how much shenanigans and fun it is for him and his sidekicks. And so that had me thinking of like that led me on another train of thought to like who my favorite superheroes are, because I do remember always being a Batman fan growing up, but then like with the existence of Marvel and the MCU, that's changed a lot of like who my top heroes are. But then I thought about it and I was like, well, like the Vision is one of my favorite characters, but I don't know if he's one of my favorite superheroes. So I was just wondering, like, in contrast, what are some of your favorite superheroes?
Well, okay, before that though, so you said the Wayne family, this comic on Webtoons, that is official by DC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they partner up sometimes or they use that as a platform?
They partnered up and they got an artist there and they sponsored them to create these Wayne family adventures.
That is, that's a good idea. I do like that. Like switching up the tone. I know Batman, people like him being dark and gloomy all the time. And that's what sells as well. But it's nice to have that little break if you want it.
It's doing
But
pretty well. They get 28 million hits. They have 28 million hits. Like people subscribed to the
DC
webtoon.
or the Wayne
The Wayne family
family?
adventures.
Oh, okay.
So people like it. People dig it.
They're like, finally, I can feel happy reading this.
But it really does feel like that. It really does feel like just a happy thing. And the comic itself doesn't brush stuff under the rug in terms of like, oh, we've never had problems. No, this is just them being real and not like having to be cranky or forced to be cranky or forced to have conflict like the way some of these comic books do. There's a chapter where I think like Dick Grayson, who's Robin #1 or now Nightwing, he like acknowledges to Jason Todd like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I always saw you as a replacement. You know, you and I didn't have the best relationship, but now like we're brothers. And like they acknowledge past things that happened in the comics, but they just this webtoon does it in a more healthy and wholesome way.
I gotcha. Okay. And how many is this recent? Like how many issues
There's
are
like
out?
they're short, so that's the thing. They're not long comics, but yeah, there's about 30 of them.
And it's still coming out monthly or bi-weekly or whatever?
It comes out weekly.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really fun to read. I hadn't caught up with it in a while. I think the last time I read it was episode like 8 or chapter 8 really. And so I was like binging it last night. I was reading them all over again and they're so funny. They're so good.
I've been reading some comics as well.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I told you now I'm filling my time outside of Reddit now since it's been deleted from my life. Mm-hmm. Except I'm using Hoopla. I'm using their
Hoopla.
Yeah, they have a lot of cool
Sounds like a
comics on there.
Hoopla.
But I'm reading like a horror one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. It's called like Proctor Road or Proctor Valley or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're trying to. It's like this group of teens are just trying to make money. It is weird because after watching Turning Red, then I'm reading this, and they're trying to also save up for like some show or something, like some concert. So they're trying to do like a ghost tour on this road, and like charge people to like give them like a fake tour and make up like legends on this road. And turns out like there's a lot of actual scary stuff going on there, like real stuff going on there. It's pretty cool. I didn't finish it yet, but I think I'm at issue 3 or 4. But there's not that many. I don't know if it's new or if it was just like a mini series, but I think there's only 5. But anyway.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. But the question about the heroes. Yeah, so you already know Spider-Man is very important to me. Very, very important to me. It started with Raimi and Tobey and it being just the most relatable as a kid, wanting to be a hero, you know, finding the girl you like and, you know, being like something about a small everyday kid having adventures that are bigger and grander than life and being so unique, being the only hero that can swing around and things like that. All that. Great. I love it. And then, yeah, with the MCU era, definitely Captain America. Like, he is all the way up there for like what I love about heroes. And I've told you this before. I love the Boy Scouts. I never get tired of that. And I know people and even comics themselves, they get like tired and kind of poke fun at the Boy Scouts for always trying to do the good thing. And people prefer the anti-hero or the one who could do quips or the funnier ones or the sarcastic ones. But I love Captain America. I love Superman. I love the heroes who love doing the right thing and always try to do the right thing. I think there's something really special about that. So
Yeah, that there's definitely they definitely get your heart. Like, oh, they're such a good person.
Yeah, it's just inspiring. It's since it's made up. These heroes are created for entertainment, but is they're good role models to try to imitate. Since they're always trying to do the right thing.
I
And,
remember telling Davey, like with Captain America, I was like, I do not want to see Captain America. It's gonna be so boring. It's gonna be so dumb. I'm not just gonna watch a guy walk around in the American flag. But then the movie gets you with his when he lies down on the grenade. Like he's just a good guy. He's just a good
was this a test?
person. Yeah, was this a test? I was like, how can you not go? Oh, like how can your heart not just immediately belong to him after that? It's just seeing him be a hero, be that selfless.
Exactly. It's inspiring. And then the speeches he gives, and
Oh
then the things
yeah.
he does, the
Oh
sacrifices
yeah.
he makes is awesome. And then the last one I'll say, because there's a lot, of course, I love a lot of the MCU heroes, but the last one I'll say is Daredevil. Now, this has been the most recent one because of the shows. The Netflix show has just won me over like crazy. It's so good. And then he's completely the opposite, like vigilante, lot of internal struggles with his responsibilities as being like this night watcher, and just think issues with his personal relationships and being a lawyer. And uh, it's great, and it's on Disney Plus now. Did you see that? All
Yes.
of the Netflix
Yes.
Marvel shows are on Disney Plus,
Yes.
and you have to sign up. You have to like agree to
Yeah,
for
you have
the mature
to.
rating thing.
Yep.
Oh man.
I had to put a pin like in my account to.
Oh, I didn't have to do that.
I think I did it just because we have a what's it called? We have the guest room TV, the one you stayed in. Um, that's also used sometimes when like family comes over, they can put their kids in there. So we have Disney Plus on that TV. So I just have a pin on mine in case anybody ever uses that TV that's a child and wants to like go into our stuff, because we have our accounts have the older content, and the guest account for our Disney Plus has it marked as for kids.
Just to keep it
Like
safe, pretty much.
just to keep it safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I had to put a pin in my account and agree and acknowledge that I want all the content.
Yeah. I think it was mostly for Punisher because,
Yeah, Punisher's pretty bloody.
yeah,
I think Daredevil can be pushing it.
it gets
I don't think
bloody.
it's
It does
yeah.
get bloody. Season
I don't
3
think
gets bloody, but not
Punisher is
not Punisher
definitely
style.
Punisher's the most extreme, but Daredevil's pushing it a little bit.
But yeah, I'll stop it right there at 3. What about you? I know you have some. You have some in mind.
It's a little interesting because you were talking about how like you like to hear. I'm on the other, like I am the target demographic. I love the bad boys. I think right off the bat, my favorite, I don't know, he's not a superhero, so I don't know if that doesn't really count, but favorite comic book character is Jason Todd, and he goes through, which is Red Hood. He's not really a hero. He is like an anti-hero. So if I had to just go off the bat from pure hero, no ifs, ands, or buts, I don't know, it's a little rough. I don't have a number one. I think if it comes to that, I don't have a number one. I have a list of favorites, and that's definitely like I have a type. It's like Batman, Iron Man, and
You like him rich.
I do. I like them rich. I like them smart, and I like them either
Broken
sassy
inside.
rich, smart, and in need of therapy.
And in need of a strong woman on their side.
And Doctor Strange is kind of winning me over, but I don't know. I haven't seen enough of him to really like. I think if he was as good in his movie as he was in other people's movies, I would like him more.
We'll see. Now in May, he's finally
Yeah.
getting a sequel to his movie that came out in 2016.
Yeah, it's crazy how long it's been since the first one.
It's so weird. I mean, we've seen him so much all throughout, but this is a long span of time for a sequel.
Yeah, and a lot has happened, I feel like, to him. He's been in a lot.
Yeah, he's been through a lot, yes.
And what's crazy is I preferred him being a side character in comparison to him having his own movie. So it'll be interesting to see him in his own movie again. But to round off the list, if I had to pick like a third character, ooh, I think it would be Captain America.
Bum, 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 bum.
I can't help it. He's got such a heart of gold. He really is a sweetie.
Absolutely. I'm glad he won you over, even though you like the rich, broken, bad boys.
Every now and then, you just got to go to a guy who's all together.
Who has his life together. Those
Did
are
you
the guys
ever-
you settle with. Oh, what?
Yeah. Did you ever read any like Spider-Man comics?
I did, but very little. Very little. I read a couple runs of whenever he teamed up with Wolverine. I don't know how I got my hands on those comics. Maybe like Carl Sr. gave it to me, but I also read the comics when he first got his Iron Spider suit, his official first issue when he gets that suit that Iron Man makes him. I remember getting that, and it was at a Comic-Con, I believe, like a New York Comic-Con. And yeah, Carl Sr. helped me get it because he's very into comics, very, very, very into comics. So he encouraged me to get it. He's like, yeah, because it's gonna be, it's an important issue. It's like a first issue of like a big event or reveal or just something of significance that happens. So yeah, I remember reading that one as well.
I've read one Spider-Man comic, and it's only, I think, like 2 issues. And it was when he teamed up with Deadpool.
Oh, no.
It was actually, the comics is good. That's actually really funny because it really just feels like, and it's interesting because Deadpool is not Deadpool, like the way people like him to be Deadpool in the comics. He's not Ryan Reynolds in the comic that I remember reading. He's
of course not. No, he's
actually funny.
He's his own character, of course.
Yeah, yeah. And so I remember really liking it, and I didn't read it physically. I remember I saw a snippet, like not like a meme, but I guess a reaction image that somebody commented with. And it was already pretty funny. I think it was Deadpool telling something snarky to Spider-Man, and it was pretty funny. And somebody underneath that commented like, "Hey, where's this from?" And they put like the Spider-Man and Deadpool issue this. So I was like, I didn't even know they had a comic together. And I found it online. Somebody kind of posted it third party.
Yeah, they did the scans.
Yeah. And so I read it that way. And I only read 2 chapters, but it was pretty funny. It was pretty good. And in terms of comic books, I don't think I've ever... Wait, no, I take that back. I have 3 sets of comics. One is I have Batman Under the Red Hood, which is when Jason Todd comes back to life. And then I have Transformers comic books, and then I have Power Ranger comic books. But that's pretty much it. That's like my extent of reading comics.
Yeah, not a big comic reader either, but I'm starting because I'm giving them a chance again. But I was reading one, I probably told you, it was called Black Science. Did I ever mention that?
Yeah, you did.
I got pretty deep into that series. And this is when I was trying, because remember I told you my dilemma that I want to be a part of these hobbies, but I don't want to own any of the physical stuff.
Yeah.
Remember that? So I was in these comic book stores and I'm like looking around. And then,
That's right. You would stand waiting for someone to talk to.
yeah, and I would talk to like the store owner and people and stuff. And then I was convinced to pick up this comic. Like they told me like, "Hey, this is a cool sci-fi one." I'm like, "Okay." And then I bought the trades. So like the ones that come with maybe like 10 issues in one or like 15 issues in one, like bundled together. And I bought like the first 3 volumes of that, just not really knowing if I was going to like it. They were relatively cheap. So I picked them up. I started reading them and yeah, it's so cool. It's like these scientists who figured out how to travel different dimensions. It's like this machine that could travel dimensions. And they call themselves Dimensionauts because they figured it out. But the thing is, that machine malfunctioned like right from the start. As soon as they launched their first travel with that, it malfunctioned and they have no control over it. It's just constantly teleporting them to different dimensions. So they're like like encountering different monsters and aliens and beings and stuff like that, and it's interesting. A lot happens, and but yeah, I had those trade backs, and then as soon as I saw that they have it on Hoopla, like almost the entire series, like basically like up to like the recent, like a lot of it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give what I have to the library and just read it on my phone.
Wow.
So that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
That premise sounds really cool, but yeah, I agree when it comes to, I think the only reason I have some of these comics is because I got them at a pretty good deal and I can't find them anymore online and I don't want to pay for them.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, with my Power Rangers one, it's different. That one is, they said it was going to be print only. It's a limited run. And Josh got it for me. He came in clutch because they only made, it's not like a continuing story. They made one issue for, there's a Power Rangers comic book going on continuously, but this one focuses on like a specific character. And so they said it's going to be limited run. We're not going to put it online. You know, you just come and get it at this one store or one type of store, and that's it. And I was like, I gotta get it.
And that's the one you still have.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's cool. It's nice. I do like the idea of collecting comics. I just don't want them.
I admire it.
I don't want them in my house, but
yeah, I admire it. I just, I don't have the room. I think I would rather buy and collect books. I have like a goal of one day creating a library in my, like my own personal library in my house.
That's another thing that's cool. You go to someone's house, you see their shelf, and it's like, oh, how's this book? Or, oh, you're into that? Or like, oh, that's interesting. Have you read that yet? And it's talking pieces. But then, again, I don't want it in my house. Same thing with video games. Like you go to Carl's house, and it's like, oh, you played that game? We're like, oh, we could try this out. You want to try that? Or does this have co-op? Or you remember this game? It's cool to see it. It's cool to have it displayed, but I just don't want it.
You're like, not in my house.
No, not in my house. Not in my house.
We used to, when Davey and I used to share a room, that room used to be more towards the front of the house. And we used to have on our shelf like all of our stuff. So it was like all our video games, all of our movies. And yeah, those were definitely talking pieces. People would come over and be like, oh, you saw this. How was it? And things like that. It was pretty cool. But now with like I have like all my Studio Ghibli movies and Blu-ray and stuff. And all my video games and my books. And I'm like, nah, I'll keep that tucked away in my room.
If you come to my house, it's like
nothing.
So, that weather lately, huh? Crazy.
How about that FIFA, huh?
Uh-huh.
You keeping up with
How about those gas prices? Oof.
Uh-huh.
That's it. But anyway, that's Sky High.
That is Sky High.
That's Sky High.
This movie does have a pretty good soundtrack. The I'll Stop the World and Melt With You has been stuck in my head since I watched this movie.
I gotta hear the movie version, yeah. I need to find the movie version and add it to the playlist.
It's done by a band called Bowling for Soup.
Bowling for Soup, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a very cool name.
I like it. But yeah, now, thanks for listening to another episode of the Elbow Nudge Podcast.
I keep forgetting to do this at the beginning. I'll do it right now. If you're still listening and you're listening to us on your favorite podcasting platform, be sure to give us an honest review. And if you want to hear more from us, hit the follow button. If you're listening to us on YouTube, give us a little like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Thank y'all so much for listening this week. We look forward to talking more next week.
Oh, yeah. And I'll end it with this because this is a line I forgot to tell you that I liked at the end of the movie. So I'll end it with this.
Okay, hit me.
Let me see if I can remember it. This is the wrap up where he's like, oh, yeah, and then they were put in jail. And then Ron Wilson, he fell in a vat of whatever.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, do you? Let me see if you like the line too, because he went, that homecoming was the highest point of high school. It never got that wild again. He said, my girlfriend became my arch enemy. My arch enemy became my best friend. And my best friend became my girlfriend. But hey, that's high school.